Happy May 4th, everyone. It is time for another year where I do a Star Wars video where I rank the episodes from the latest season of Star Wars Visions. And I know I said, I think in the past, that I was gonna try to have this out nearer the time when the season actually came out and not have it be pushed all the way to May 4th. But it ended up happening because honestly, if I'm being honest, I kind of forgot to watch the season. Kind of felt like not as excited about it, even though there's a lot of things to have been excited about. You had a lot of returning studios from season 1 coming in to not just do new episodes, but also do some episodes that are sequels to episodes from the first season, which in some ways is really exciting. However, I think after my excitement for season 2, where they were not just doing anime studios, but they were going global, seeing them go back to some of the same studios from the first season and then make it, strictly anime again like the first season, it just kind of made me go like, oh, okay, I mean, I'm still cool, but like, it kind of seems like a little bit of a step back, even though at the same time, I did think these stories did look like they were going to be interesting, but now I finally have watched them, and yeah, overall I would say this season is really solid. There's a lot of great episodes to talk about, and I'm excited to rank them all. There's one thing I want to complain about, it is how they did the filmmaker focused featurettes. They were just strictly on the YouTube channel, and they're all narrated by Ashly Burch, just talking about, some of the inspirations that went into the episodes and what their stories are. Don't get me wrong, I love Ashly Burch. I think she's a great actress and I would love to meet her one day. She seems like an awesome person. I just think when I see the behind the scenes of stuff for a movie or a show, I would really just rather hear what it was like making the movie or show from the people making the movie or show, not someone else who I don't really think was involved with it at all. They were enjoyable to watch. I just I don't like how they did. I just don't really love how they did it this time around. I wish they would just go back and just have the actual creatives talk about what it was like making their respective episodes. But yeah, I know, sorry, I just had to get that out there because I did not like that all that much. Anyway, yes, here we are, the Star Wars Visions Volume 3 episodes ranked. At number 9, it is The Smuggler, directed by Masahito Otsuka and brought to us by Studio Trigger, who, oh by the way, I should mention this, since we have a lot of returning studios for this who have made Star Wars Visions episodes in the past, I'm just going to be mentioning what episodes they had made before so I don't repeat a lot of the same works that they had done in the past, so keep that in mind. But yeah, here, this episode is made by Studio Trigger, who made the Twins episode in the first season of Star Wars Visions. And it's about this smuggler who gets hired by this Jedi and this mysterious pilot, and eventually oh no, the Empire tries to get them, but then it turns out oh hey, this turns out this mysterious pilot is actually a prince whose royal family is under attack by the Empire, and so they have to get off the planet and all this stuff. They grow closer together, yada yada yada. I know when I'm saying it like this, it sounds like I didn't care for it or I don't find it all that good. I did find it good. I just don't really think it was that exciting. I thought it was a little bit interesting how it was very similar to A New Hope in a lot of ways. It's overall good. I like the design of the main girl herself. And honestly, I'm really trying to figure out what else to say because I don't know. I just felt this is the most adequate out of all of them. It was alright, it was enjoyable, it had good animation, good character designs. I just thought, I see Studio Trigger doing this, I kind of want a little more. Come on, Studio Trigger, you did so amazing with the Twins one, just going balls to the walls, crazy with the visuals and the action. Here, it's just okay, it's a pretty standard story. It's very New Hope-ish, and it's I'm having a good time. Being honest, I don't really remember the actual story itself, specific beats about it, just oh yeah, I remember elements here and there. And again, it's nothing because the episode's bad or anything. It's a perfectly fine episode. I just don't really think it was all that interesting, but that could just be a me thing. I saw some people on Letterboxd say that this episode was one of their favorites, so hey, well, maybe you'll like this episode more than me. Number 8, The Birds of Paradise, directed by Tadahiro Yoshihira, and it is from Polygon Pictures, who you may know for animating on shows like Transformers Prime. They also worked on the Netflix Godzilla anime films, and also another Star Wars property, the CGI Clone Wars cartoon. This one has some of the best visuals out of any episode I've seen in the whole show. There's honestly some breathtaking parts, and I just love the story that they have here of this Jedi who goes blind after an attack from the Sith, and it's stuck in this area, and has to use the Force, but also whispers and energy that the location that she's in is trying to share to her, and she just has to listen and take it all in, all while she's blind, by the way. So it's just saying oh, how do you see the Force like this was something that's mentioned in the filmmaker focus, but it's like exploring like how does one Jedi see the Force when they can't actually see? And it is honestly amazing. Like again, some amazing visuals in this one. And the one thing that is bringing it down from like making it like so much better, like something that could make it one of the best episodes of the whole show, is just that it just has too much talking. The main character talks a lot in this, and like she's like, wait, what does this mean? And then she just like kind of says it out loud, oh, what this is, or like, oh, how she's feeling right now.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
And honestly, yeah, it's too much telling. I just want more showing, and like what you're showing already is really good. I think this would work so much better if it had little to no dialogue at all. They're like, it would have been so much better if they just let the visual storytelling play out just more. And also, I watched all these episodes dubbed. However, I think while watching this episode, I was kind of thinking, I should really switch it to the sub. Also, the dubs in the Star Wars Visions episodes I think are pretty good. You can definitely tell some actors are not used to voice acting at all, and that's kind of the case with the voice actor for the main character in this one, because it really does not sound that great. You can definitely tell, it definitely sounds like she's just reading off a script, and with like the fact that I said that there's just way too much dialogue in this for what I feel should be mostly visual storytelling, it really takes me out of it. So I don't think the dub, it ruined my enjoyment of this, and more so just that I don't like that there was that much dialogue. I just wish, like I said, there was more showing, not telling. Overall, you know, almost there, but it was still pretty good. At number 7, we have The Bounty Hunters, directed by Junichi Yamamoto, and it's brought to us by Wit Studio, who has done other shows such as Ranking of Kings, Suicide Squad Isekai, and Spy Family. They've worked on Spy Family. We see a pair of bounty hunters who get a job from like this pretty rich guy who seems to have child workers. I'm sure there's nothing bad about that. And he's like, hey, can you like just take out like these other people that are just kind of getting in my business? And they're like, all right, sure, you're paying us a lot. And then when they find out what those people are, why those people are against like this rich guy, it's because he's not using child workers. Like he's not actually paying them. He's using child slaves. Yeah, he has some free child labor, and obviously that's not a good thing. So of course our main characters take down this guy and then free the slaves, and that is what the story is about. And you get some nice moments with specifically the two bounty hunters themselves. So you learn more about the main girl's past, and then also she has a droid with her who's a medical droid who also has has a bounty hunter protocol attached to him. So he switches back and forth from being a medical droid to a bounty hunter droid, and so we learn more about their dynamic together. It's another one that I would say is pretty solid. There's definitely some really good bits of action in this one, especially towards the end in the fight with like the big rich guy. I don't remember his name, I'm being honest. And like I said, I think there's some genuinely interesting stuff with the two bounty hunters there. It's like, this definitely gives off the vibe of like an episode that wants to be an ongoing series. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing more stories with them. I think they're pretty good. I'm not as invested in it as I was when I watched something like The Ninth Jedi or The Duel, which, get ready for those when we talk about those sequel episodes. But I do think this one, I can see potential here for a good ongoing series. But as it is, it's another one that I would say is pretty good. Some good moments of action, and like I said, I think the main dynamic itself is interesting enough that I wouldn't mind seeing more of them, but I'm not hollering, going yeah, give it to me now. Still, Bounty Hunters is a good. At number 6, we got The Song of Four Wings, directed by Hiroyasu Kobayashi, and it's brought to us by Project Studio Q. You may know for working on shows such as Mobile Suit Gundam Jikux. It's the one on it's the newest one, I think. Lazarus and Darling in the Franxx. Really well animated. I like the designs of the main characters really well, especially the main girl. I think she has a fun sort of Mega Man Legends-esque design. I don't know. I don't know how to exactly this. It kind of gives off that vibe, but I quite like it. The music in this one is really good. It has a nice electronic sound to it, and it's my favorite soundtrack from any episode this season. In the near the end of the episode, there's this big fight on this ice planet with the AT-ATs, and it is great. And you also got some mecha anime inspiration in there, where she has this little transformation where she has a little mecha suit. It's really cool. And the episode is essentially this girl, and she is on this planet. She finds a survivor there who's oh, she's trying to help him, but at the same time, uh-oh, the Empire, because, you know, the Empire are kind of dicks. And overall, I would say, yeah, it's like another one that I would say is really solid. Story-wise, it's nothing really too gripping for me. Like, I remember, like, in the beginning, I was just like, you know, I think this one's pretty good, but I'm not sure if I'm feeling it. But, like, the more I thought about it, the more, like, I really do like the music, though, and the animation's good. And near the end, I'm like, you know what? I think I would call that one a fun one. And I'm okay. And sometimes I think you just need, like, a fun episode, and that's what I would call this one. Again, this show did start off as just anime studios making a Star Wars, and so sometimes, and yeah, it's cool seeing anime stuff in Star Wars, and that's the case here. So I like that. I like that quite a bit. At number 5, we have The Lost One, directed by Hitoshi Haga, and it's brought to us by Kinema Citrus, who you may know for animating, well, the episode that is actually a sequel to, The Village Bride from Season 1. And they also are doing another episode, which we'll talk about in a bit here. This one is a pretty solid one that I think is not just a pretty good one, but I would also say is one that I actually kind of like better more than the previous installments. Like, The Village Bride was an episode that I definitely had to warm up to the more I rewatched it. Like, at first I thought, yeah, it's pretty fine, it's got some nice visuals, so I'm not feeling it too much. But the more I rewatched that season, the more, like, the episode really grew on me, and I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good episode. I don't think I'm as in love with it as some other people were, but I would still say it was a solid one. And at first when I was watching this episode, I was thinking, you know, I don't know, this one might be weaker than the first one, because it took a while for me to really get into it. But then as it went on, the more of it like started to really shine. Like, we learned a bit more about the main Jedi in this series, who we see like a moment of her in her past and her youth, and then we see her like confront like these like kids who seem to be against the Jedi, but she doesn't like act defensive about it. She's especially just kind of telling the kids like, you may feel that way now, but sure, you know, when you get older, you'll understand more. And it's like kind of like not being angry towards these kids for having like this like false understanding of how the Jedi, like what the Jedi did in this world, but just like kind of like knowing that they're kids, they don't know everything, and hopefully when they get older, they'll understand more. You know, unfortunately in the real world, that's not the case. Some people grow up not knowing how things work and then continue not knowing how things work. But regardless, that's not important to what this is. And then later on, we see her confront someone else from her past, and then we get this amazing battle in this, and it's like, and it like was the thing that helped elevate this episode for me. So not only are we learning more about this character, but we're seeing some really good action, we get some good moments with her, stuff that like I just think really made the episode like shine. And ultimately, I think by the end of it, I had to think, do I like this one more than the first one? Like the Village Bride, I mean. Because the time it ended, I'm like, I don't know, I think the ending really did it for me. The ending really saved it. And then that once I saw that ending, it made me rethink about some things from the beginning that I liked. Like I said, like that moment with the kids, and I like that we got to see more of this character. It just honestly really works. So yeah, I ended up liking this one more than the Village Bride in that sense, by the end of it. And it's overall a solid sequel episode. Here we go with another sequel episode. In number 4, it is The Ninth Jedi, The Lost Child, directed by Naoshi Shiotani. I am sorry if I'm butchering any of these names, by the way. And it's brought to us by Production IG, who made the first Ninth Jedi episode from Season 1. And if you remember my ranking of Volume 1, you remember that I said I thought it was like a really good episode that honestly worked a lot as a sort of pilot for a Star Wars anime series. Something that was really cool that we got, like, was an announcement before this season, was that we were going to get a actual Ninth Jedi mini-series. And then, like, we saw that one of the episodes for this season was going to be a sequel to that, and I was pretty excited for that. But after watching it now, I would say it was definitely a good episode. However, it doesn't really feel like it needed to be here. I think, like, I'm fine with the Duel and the Village Bride getting sequel episodes, but the Ninth Jedi, I don't know if I entirely love that the sequel episode is in here. If they hadn't announced that we were getting a miniseries, then maybe I would be more like, oh, okay, that really excites me. But now that we're seeing this, I'm like, oh, okay, that feels like they're double dipping a bit, you know? The actual episode itself, I think, is really solid. So in this one, we see the main character accidentally get left behind after an attack in space, and so then she gets rescued by this little robot who like helps her out, and then she helps him out, and then we see that there are some people trying to like find her and know some information about what happened to her father from the first episode. And we also see more of her development in this, seeing how she grew up trying to learn the Force, but also doesn't have that much confidence in herself. And then with her relationship with this robot with this droid that she meets, she like starts to gain a bit more confidence, and then starts to grow a genuine connection with him, and other stuff that I don't want to spoil for the episode. It is a nice follow-up to the first episode where we see her like get out of like her own element and stuck in this scary situation now with this new group of allies, but also needing to find her father. And here we see her still have that self-doubt in her, but after going through this like ordeal and making this genuine bond, she's like gained some self-confidence and is now determined to become a great Jedi, and it is really solid. I will say though, animation-wise, I don't think it looks as good as the first as the first Ninth Jedi story, and that could be because it uses a lot of CG animation, and I don't really mind when CG animation is implemented in 2D animated in 2D animated animes, and sometimes it can look quite good. Here, there are some parts where I actually think stylistically it looks kind of cool, but other times it does look very distracting and not that great, especially during the action sequences where it switches from 2D and then goes into like a sort of 3D animation. It just like looks a little bit off. And so yeah, The Ninth Jedi I think is a good episode. It definitely feels like it didn't need to be here. It felt like it honestly probably could have just been saved for the miniseries, but I am glad I got to see it, and I hope that the miniseries is good. And here we have the last sequel episode I'm going to be talking about, at number 3, The Duel Payback, and it is a sequel episode to The Duel from the first season. Directed by Takanobu Mizuno, brought to us by Kamikaze Duga and Anima, who of course did the first The Duel from Star Wars Visions Season 1. It's still got that great visual style to it that is like black and white and clearly inspired by old samurai films and like ancient like samurai Japan. I'm sure there's a better way to describe what I just said. I'm sorry for being super uncultured. Yeah, great character designs, great action in here. However, there is something that I want to bring up. It feels very similar to Return of the Jedi. I think when I was first watching it, I was not really sure if I was feeling. I was like, it's not really having that same effect that the first The Duel had. It's not as cool because like it started to focus a lot more on like this battle that if I'm being honest, I don't really fully remember what the battle was about. But like that's happening, and guess what? They also bring Ewoks in this. yeah, there's actual Ewoks in this. And then later in the episode, when we see someone from the main character's past, and it's like this Jedi, but he's like a robot man now. Like he has robotic parts to him, and so then the main character and like the person that they were fighting, that they were enemies, but now that they're teaming up together to defeat this Jedi, this robot Jedi. It is genuinely really cool, and I'm like, oh yes, this is the part of the episode that really works. I love this. And yeah, that is where I say the Return of the Jedi similarities come in, where I'm like, I really like the specific character-focused stuff here. The rest of the other stuff, I'm like, I still like, but I can sort of see how it will probably turn some people off. With me, with Return of the Jedi, I sort of understand where people are coming from. I still like the Ewoks. I think Ewoks are adorable, but I agree that the best stuff in Return of the Jedi is the specific character stuff with Luke and Darth Vader, and here it is with, of course, the main character and this robot Jedi. It ends in like kind of a safe finale where it feels like, this could work as a final finale, but I could see potential for more stories, and they probably will, since I think this character has become pretty popular, and maybe they want to continue more with him. While it doesn't have that extra cool factor that I think the first The Duel had, it's still pretty cool, is what I'm saying. At number 2, it's Yuko's Treasure, directed by Masaki Tachibana and brought to us by Kainema Citrus, who did The Lost Ones, like I mentioned earlier, and of course The Village Bride. And this one, I was surprised with how much I like this one. First of all, it is super cute. I absolutely adore the art style to this one. It puts a little smile on my face when I see some of these character designs, and some of them I can see like becoming like fan favorites for reasons. And one that really stands out is the droid Benny. It's like a robot bear. It's adorable. I love it. I want merchandise of that. There are some really fun moments in this one, like especially this one where they're like walking and then there's like just a giant monster right behind them, and it's like a fun visual gag. And then later when he's turned evil for a little bit and he just has like a Darth Vader helmet and cape. It's hilarious. I like that. And there's some genuinely sweet stuff with Yuko and how much Benny like really cares for Yuko. Like he just wants to look after him after like his parents are gone. And then Yuko tries to go out of his way to save him, and then grows a bond with this one kid who like is like now able to be part of this like little family. It's genuinely really cute. I keep saying cute a lot. That's just the best way I can describe it. It's cute. And I know a lot of times that can be seen as sort of like demeaning, like, oh really the best thing you could say. It's like, oh, it's cute, but like other times something is really good because it's cute, and that's how I feel about this one. Sometimes I like having the cute stuff in this show. Like it puts Star Wars and cute together, you get some good stuff like this. And at number 1, we have Black.
Black?
It is directed by Shinya Ohira and brought to us by David Production, who have worked on shows like Cells at Work, the recent Urusei Yatsura, and Fire Force. And Black is the last episode of the season. When you watch the show, when you watch season 3 together, this is the last one there. They end off with basically their best episode. It is incredible. Like, it is purely visual storytelling, by the way, so there's no dialogue aside from like some screaming. By the way, every episode I've seen this season, it has an English dub. This one doesn't, because like I said, there's like no dialogue that needs to be dubbed. It's just screaming. And essentially what you get is just visual after visual of stormtroopers just going through it, like during like various different attacks from different moments in the series and from different moments of the Star Wars series. Like there's like one that I believe is on Hoth, and it's just like so many crazy visuals, one after the other, the crazy colors, and then later they have like this sort of funky jazz music contrast with like what you're seeing on screen, and it is wild. And like the apparently this director Shinya Ohira is like done some really amazing stuff in his career. Like he's worked with like Miyazaki for some Ghibli films, and he like did the anime sequence in Kill Bill, and like he just has like a unique style to him, and you could definitely see that here. It is incredible to look at. It's just like it has like a very like sort of sketchy look to it, where sometimes like the movements are like very loose, but it's just wild to see. And then like the colors crashing down like on the stormtroopers like one after the other. It's like, bro. And like something that really fascinated me about this is that it really started to make me think, oh yeah, the stormtroopers really go through hell. Like I'm not like, obviously I don't think we sympathize with them because they are working for the Empire, and you know the stormtroopers are like, you know, like the bad guys. But here we just see them kind of be thrown around, going through like hell, like, you know, just, like, being attacked constantly, and like being like in this like near-death experience, facing these near-death experiences all around. And according to the Wikipedia page, this says that it's like supposed to take place, it's like where the stormtrooper is hallucinating after like the battle on Endor. And like I can sort of see that, but like for the most part there isn't really a story. It's just kind of like witnessing these various moments in these stormtroopers' lives as they go through all these dangerous battles, as they just like go through like a roller coaster of dangers. I don't want to believe I'm someone that's just like easily swayed by visuals, but I think the fact that this one is so like it's just mostly about the visuals just kind of like does it for me for this one. Like yeah, it might not have like as a strong of a story as like some other Star Wars Visions episodes, but the actual visuals, the actual animation, the actual designs of everything that you're seeing is just like elevating it so much that I'm like, I really dig it so much. And like I said, it just really starts to make you think about like the stormtroopers themselves. I don't want to be a stormtrooper for like obvious reasons, because like they're the bad guys, but also because of all this. And like the visual, I just keep bringing up the visuals. The visuals are so good in this one. It's like one of the best in Star Wars Visions ever. And yeah, I definitely want to check out more of this guy's work, this director's work. It is incredible. I love the music, by the way. Definitely has my favorite music right behind the Song of Four Wings. And yeah, it's Black.
It's actually pronounced Zach.
And that is my ranking of the episodes from Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Definitely another good season. I don't think that the highs ever reached like the highs of Season 2 and Season 1, but I am still ultimately happy with what I saw here, and I do wish I actually saw this when it came out and had done a video on it, you know, around when it actually released. And I want to say I'll do that when like Volume 4 comes out. I don't know if that's actually true. I could be lying right now. If they just keep making more of the show, I'm gonna keep watching it, and I'm gonna keep making these rankings. And I hope you enjoyed this. Again, happy May 4th. And excuse me, I have to do other stuff because I'm graduating like literally this upcoming Saturday. So I really should get to working on things that I need to do before then. But anyway, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Insert Star Wars noise here.